Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the weekly updates. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more great World of Warcraft news, guides, and tutorials here on the channel. I want to give a big shout out to all my Patreon supporters. You guys are making everything that I'm doing on the channel possible, and a big shout out to my legendary patrons, Cass, Murphy, and Lost Soul. Definitely appreciate the support from you guys. We're going to move on now to the news. As you know, the weekly update, we cover WoW News channel news and what's going on in the world of Tsetzuko. It's a pretty slow week. I've been a little bit under the weather, though hopefully you can't tell right now. And there's not a lot going on with World of Warcraft this week, but we're going to hit a couple of things. There is one big exciting thing that I do want to talk about for World of Warcraft. So let's get into it and get to that point. Okay, so first up, Blizzard has a policy change in place, apparently, where now accounts that are created purely for advertising purposes are now subject to bans. So there's a big story on Wowhead about a person who has had their account banned based on Blizzard saying that they have changed the terms of service to now basically make advertising a bannable offense if the purpose of the account that the advertising is coming from is clearly intended to be mostly or 100% there for the advertising. So this is interesting. Reading up on the story, it sounds like, even though this may be something that could be a bannable offense forward, my initial view on it is it looked like this person's account was banned for a change to the terms of service that was not announced or spoken about anywhere. So I have no real strong opinion on whether or not the person should or should not be banned, but it does seem that on the part of Blizzard, they could have managed this in a better way by acknowledging the fact that there was a change to the terms of service and notifying people ahead of time and saying, hey, we're changing the terms of service. You guys get your stuff together before this happens. Anyone who's continuing this behavior or whatever after this point is subject to bans. So I feel like this is a failure on Blizzard's part in general, but we'll see how it plays out in the long run. Next up, Shadowlands Paragon reputations. We're taking a look at the rewards for those now. So Paragon, if you're not familiar with it, it's when you already are at Exalted with a faction, you can continue to earn rep with that faction in order to get a Paragon reward. In Shadowlands, some of the Paragon rewards that you can get include pets, toys, and mounts. Many of these are Covenant specific, and one of the cool things about them is you don't have to be a member of the Covenant to get these rewards. There are some pretty good ones here, but I gotta say by far, I think the cutest one is the Larian Cub. It is it's just so cute. But there are a couple of mounts and stuff in there as well, so you can get your reputations up to Exalted and then continue to grind those out for these Paragon rewards and hope that you get something as cool as a pet or a mount for your reward. Next up, with the January 12th patch, Blizzard has made some class tuning adjustments. For Blood Death Knights, Bone Shield has been buffed to give you armor equal to 70% of your strength instead of 50%. Frost Death Knight has had all their damage increased by 2% when wielding a two-handed weapon. Frost Mage has had all damage abilities increased by 9%. Windwalker Monk and Brewmaster Monk have both had their damage increased by 2% while wielding a two-handed weapon. Assassination Rogue has had all abilities damage increased by 8%. And Fury Warrior has had all damage increased by 8% except for Bladestorm and Dragon Roar. And finally, the last and, in my opinion, the most exciting bit of WoW news that we got this week is the Torghast bonus events information. So this is really cool. Every week, there's going to be a bonus event going on in Torghast. There are 3 new events, and they're going to be rotating through on a cycle, and these events will offer you unique anima power options. The way this works is when you first get into Torghast, you're going to be given an option to choose the new event-based anima power. If you choose that power, you will continue to get options for that power as you progress through your Torghast run. However, if you choose not to take that initial event anima power, you will not receive any of those additional event anima powers as options throughout your run. So essentially, you're making a decision right at the beginning of your Torghast run whether you want to opt into the event or out of the event. Picking up that ability will get you in and give you those options. Not choosing that ability will cause you to no longer get those as options as well. So this sounds pretty cool. There are, like I said, 3 different events. The one that's active now is the Beast of Prodigum. It says, Beast of Prodigum have been unleashed upon Torghast, Tower of the Damned. So this event actually gives you a pet, a companion that goes with you on your Torghast run, and over the course of the run, you're going to be able to get new anima powers that can power up that companion. There's also Torghast, Chorus of Dead Souls. It says, Dead Souls swarm within Torghast, Tower of the Damned. Now, this one we don't have details from the Blizzard article about, but this is one that I played with during the beta, where you essentially have, you turn into this giant, kind of spectral, gray spectral looking monster, and essentially it swaps out your entire set of abilities with new ones, and you can power those up over the course of the run as well. And the last one is Unbridled Darkness. It says, Unbridled Darkness has been unleashed upon Torghast, Tower of the Damned. Now this one, I'm not sure what this is. We don't have details, and I did not play this one on the beta, so we'll have to take a look. We'll have to wait and see. The schedule for this is posted up. We're going to have the Beast of Prodigum January 12th, April 6th, and June 29th. We're going to have the Chorus of Dead Souls February 9th and May 4th, and then Unbridled Darkness on March 9th and June 1st. So it says the bonus event system consists of a rotating schedule of different activities currently scheduled to run each week beginning on Tuesdays. The in-game calendar can serve as your one-stop reference for the event schedule. So pretty cool stuff there. I'm really excited to try out these bonus events. I think this is pretty cool. It's a way to shake up Torghast once again, and it shows me that, again, Blizzard is paying attention to Torghast, and that's good. I feel like overall, we want those eyes on Torghast in order to ensure that it maintains its usefulness and its fun throughout the course of the whole expansion. All right, moving on, we're jumping into the community section of the Weekly Vault with a question from the Patreon. This one comes from Theory. He says, I guess a question I have is not directly related to WoW, but more your streaming setup. Does YouTube have tools implemented in it that allow you to put the video of your head, the stream, and the slideshow? Or are you using a separate program to coordinate that into the YouTube stream? So basically, is YouTube allowing me to switch back and forth from my, just face camera, the one that has the actual stream in it, the one that does a slideshow? The answer to that is no. Generally speaking, the live streaming tools for YouTube don't allow you to do anything too crazy like that. They basically just take whatever you are feeding it and they broadcast it out to YouTube for the most part. So what I actually do is I use a program called OBS, or Open Broadcast Software. It's totally free, and you can use this to set up different scenes, and those scenes can be different things like a slideshow, or your webcam as full screen, or it may be your little webcam with the game in the background. All that stuff is run through a program like that. OBS isn't the only one, but it is the one that I use in order to make my videos. All right, now we're going to jump into some comments. So we're going to kick things off with Carlton Whitfield, who says, I'm looking forward to the endless Torghast, but to be fair, some of the regular Torghast seems a little endless right now. How long is a 1 to 18 run of Twisting Corridors taking you? Great video. Looking forward to more of this series. So I haven't done the 1 to 18 Twisting Corridors live yet, but I did this a few times during the beta, and it was decently long. I want to say that it took 2 to 3 hours. I did this in a co-op run with my wife, and we went through the whole thing. And I know by the end of it, she was done. She was ready to go. But I enjoyed it. We were in one of the tile sets that I didn't like, so it made it feel more like a slog. So I think that factors in as well. You know, is it 1 to 18 with a tile set that you like? Is it 1 to 18 with a class that you think is fun and has good anima powers? All that stuff is going to influence whether or not, you know, the 1 to 18 run there actually feels good. Next, we've got a comment from Prestige Player 1. It says, great idea for the dungeons with focusing on the mobs and how to do or get around them. As for many new players, only see content on how to do the boss. Yet many new players get so downhearted when they die on the way to the boss. As an experienced tank, I can solve most boss problems, but helping someone that is out of their depth, being trolled by unforgiving so-called team members, is a real-life killer of a dungeon run. Thanks, man. Keep it coming. I 100% agree with this, that, you know, if you're a new player, a lot of times, like, if you get to a boss, you expect a boss to be tough. You have that concept coming from other video games of like, hey, bosses, they're a big deal. You're going to have to fight them a couple times. You may fail, but you start again and you try again and you figure it out. But 100%, like, dying to the stuff along the way because you're not, you know, focusing on the enemy that you need to be focusing on, or you're not interrupting a key ability, or you're not positioning correct and you pull too many enemies at the same time. Those are all things that can be really frustrating. And especially in the case of like a pug dungeon run where you're running with people you don't really know, and you've got plenty of people that are more than willing to open their mouth and call you out and just harass you about stuff, even if you're trying to learn. Having information about that going in definitely could be a real help. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these dungeon style guides might pan out. I think we're still a little ways off from any of that coming into WoW Academy. It's something I've kind of got to map out and figure out for myself, and then we'll see how it goes. But I definitely like that idea as well. The next comment is from Craig Ricks. Now, Craig Ricks left a couple of comments, and I've actually gotten several comments on this video for the add-on tutorial, Tell Me When. So Craig says, how do we make a debuff on our target only show 2 seconds before it falls off? And the truth of the matter is that's not something that I'm going to be able to tell you, because I have moved on from Tell Me When and am now using weak auras. And I no longer provide like support for Tell Me When type stuff or anything like that. I don't use it. I haven't used it in a long time, actually. And I would encourage everyone to check out my beginner's guide to weak auras and get involved in weak auras if you can, especially if you're asking questions like this, where you're wanting to do something a little more custom with your buffs and your timers. To me, Tell Me When is more of a turn it on and it just kind of does the basics for you. Sort of add-on that's really good for people that want some of that extra stuff, but they don't want to go in and fine-tune it exactly. If you want to open things up and you want to customize your auras, your buff timers, all that kind of good stuff, then weak auras is really the place that you should be at. And I made my initial guide hoping to make getting into weak auras something a little bit more palatable and easy for people that, are just getting into this stuff. So for everyone who has been posting questions and comments about Tell Me When, that's going to be my answer. Come on over to weak auras and join the rest of us. I can absolutely, most certainly help you with anything weak auras related, because I am in there all the time. I think I spend at least as much time messing around with weak auras as I do actually playing the game. And the last comment here is from 4570 Lever Gunner. I don't know if that's actually, the way that you read your name, but that's how I read your name. Said, sorry I had to dip out at the end. Keep up the great work, man. I'm really appreciating these. This was a comment on the second episode ever of WoW Academy Live, where I went through talking about WoW spells and rotation, the different types, how to identify them, and how to look at them from a generic perspective that you can apply to multiple classes and specializations. And I picked this comment out just to say, like, no problem about you dipping out at the end. Like anybody who shows up to the live streams and talks and comments, I really, really appreciate that. It definitely helps keep the live streams active and keep me engaged as well. So I don't, mentally check out and just start, world questing and zoning out. Because normally when I world quest, I put on a podcast or something. So that's what I tend to do nowadays. And I also, let's be real, I highlighted your comment because I also wanted to highlight WoW Academy Live and tell you guys to check that out. The time has moved to every Monday at 6:30 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. So you can tune in for WoW Academy Live, which is my educational live stream series. All right, next up, we're going to talk about channel news, and really, there's nothing to tell here. We're getting into the groove of things with our WoW Academy Live every Monday, our weekly update videos every Wednesday. The first of the actual kind of edited, doctored up guides should be coming out Friday or Saturday of this week, and it's a guide on what to do once you hit level 60 and kind of what your weekly and daily task list will look like. So that'll be coming out here sometime this weekend. Going into next week, it's the same thing. WoW Academy Live on Monday, update video on Wednesday. All that being said, this month is my birthday month, and I am trying to hit 250 subscribers on my second channel, Pixel Pathfinder, where I cover indie games, by my birthday. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I'm going to try. And if you guys are interested in other games besides World of Warcraft, I highly encourage you to hop over there and check it out. Link in the description below. If you want to hook me up with a totally free to you birthday present, then you can hit that subscribe button over there and help me boost those numbers up. In reality, boosting those numbers up kind of helps me qualify for YouTube stuff, such as being able to have a custom URL, and also it helps me qualify for some of the services that I need to be able to use in order to get promotional game keys and stuff for the channel over there, so that I can cover more things without burning out my wallet. So subscriptions over there really do help. And that's my pitch. That's all I've got. That's what I'm looking for my birthday this year. That being said, I will be doing a birthday stream sometime one of these weekends coming up, and I'll have more details about that probably next update video or the next WoW Academy Live. I'll probably be promoting it there as well. All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys being here. Hope you're having fun in World of Warcraft Shadowlands, and I will see you on the next video.